Hello and welcome to the screencast on the long-range behavior of rational functions. In this video, we'll quickly review the definition of a rational function and then use the long-range behavior of a familiar rational function to analyze the behavior of more complicated rational functions. A function r is a rational function provided that it is possible to write r as the ratio of two polynomials p and q. That is, r is rational provided that for some polynomial functions p and q, we have r of x equals p of x divided by q of x. Like with polynomial functions, we are interested in such natural questions as what is the long-range behavior of a given rational function. It's important to first recall our earlier work with functions of the form p of x equals 1 over x to the n, where n is greater than 0. For such functions, we know that x to the n increases without bound as x increases without bound. And since the numerator of p of x is 1 and the denominator is growing without bound as x increases without bound, the quantity 1 over x to the n is tending toward 0. So we could say the limit of 1 over x to the n as x increases without bound is 0. The same is true when x is decreasing without bound. The limit of 1 over x to the n as x decreases without bound also equals 0. Thus, anytime we encounter a quantity, such as 1 over x to the fourth, this quantity will approach 0 as x increases or decreases without bound. And this will occur for any constant number. For example, the limit of 25 over x squared as x increases without bound also equals 0. This is true because we can think of 25 over x squared as 25 times 1 over x squared. And 25 times a quantity that is approaching 0 will still approach 0 itself as x increases without bound. So now we're ready to use this familiar function, 1 over x to the n, to determine the long-range behavior of a more complicated rational function. Determine the long-range behavior of r of x equals 5x squared plus 2x divided by 4x cubed minus 7 by evaluating the limit of r of x as x increases without bound. Notice that the largest power of x present in r of x is x cubed. In addition, from our previous knowledge of polynomial long-range behavior, because of the dominant terms 5x squared in the numerator and 4x cubed in the denominator, we know that both the numerator and the denominator increase without bound as x increases without bound. So in order to understand the long-range behavior of this rational function r, we're going to choose to write the function in a different algebraic form. So specifically, what we're going to do is take that largest degree in the whole problem that we saw, 4x cubed, and we're going to multiply the numerator by that largest degree, 1 over x cubed, and then we're also going to multiply the denominator by that rational function, 1 over x cubed. And we can always multiply the numerator and denominator by the same quantity because that's essentially just like multiplying by 1. All right, so we're looking at the limit as x increases without bound here. We're going to simplify by distributing and simplifying. So 5x squared times 1 over x cubed would give us 5 over x, and then 2x times 1 over x cubed would give us 2 over x squared. And then repeat on the bottom. In the denominator, we'll end up with 4 minus 7 over x cubed. And so we're thinking about what happens to these familiar terms, 5 over x, 2 plus x squared, and 7 over x cubed, as x increases without bound? So we know that if x is increasing without bound, 5 over x is getting smaller and smaller. It's going to approach 0. 2 over x squared is going to approach 0. And 7 over x cubed is also going to approach 0. So what we really found is that the limit as x increases without bound is just going to simplify to 0 over 4, which equals 0. Right. So thinking about what we started with, we were looking at the limit of the function r of x as x increases without bound, and we saw that it's approaching a finite value of 0. From our previous studies, we know that that means r of x has a horizontal asymptote at y equals 0. So in this particular case, we saw that the numerator had a smaller degree, 5x squared, than the denominator, which was 4x cubed. And so the numerator was growing relatively slower than the denominator. We could repeat this analysis by identifying the greatest degree, multiplying by 1 divided by x raised to that degree in the numerator and in the denominator in order to determine the long-range behavior of any rational function and try to see if it has a horizontal asymptote. Indeed, you're going to do just that in the activities in this section. And here's what you're going to find. Let p and q be polynomial functions so that r of x equals p of x divided by q of x is a rational function. Suppose that p has degree n with leading term a sub n x to the n, and q has degree m with leading term b sub m x to the m. There's 3 possibilities that can result in 3 different behaviors of m. Right? So one possibility is that n, the degree of the numerator, is less than the degree of the denominator. And when this happens, y equals 0 is a horizontal asymptote, as we saw in the previous example. The second possibility, if n, the degree of the numerator, is equal to m, the degree of the denominator, then y equals a sub n divided by b sub m is a horizontal asymptote. In other words, a sub n was the leading coefficient of the numerator, and b sub m was the leading coefficient of the denominator. So if the numerator and denominator have equal degree, then we can divide the leading coefficients to find the horizontal asymptote. Lastly, if n, the degree of the numerator, is greater than m, the degree of the denominator, then r does not have a horizontal asymptote. Let's quickly look at an example of each scenario. So notice that r of x in the numerator is degree 1, and in the denominator we also have a polynomial of degree 1. The leading terms are negative 4x and 2x. When the degrees are the same, we are going to divide the leading terms. So we see that indeed there is a horizontal asymptote at y equals negative 2. The function s of x has a greater degree in the numerator, or in the denominator. The denominator is degree 2, the numerator is degree 0. So as a result, since the numerator has a smaller degree, we see there's a horizontal asymptote at y equals 0. And lastly, the function p of x has a greater degree in the numerator than it does in the denominator. So the numerator is growing faster than the denominator as x increases without bound. And as a result, we see that p of x does not have a horizontal asymptote.